Pee Wee Herman dying.
That's crazy. I remember, my friend Peter. He used to have that doll, the Pee Wee Herman doll.
Yeah, I know. I noticed I had the same doll, and I noticed that that was like the most prominent memory everybody shared was the doll. That seems to be his legacy. Is that, I mean, obviously they remember Pee Wee's Big Adventure and a lot of stuff. I saw some posts that were like putting together collages of like his other characters and stuff. We're like, come on, like everything else was a cameo. Pee Wee Herman is that dude's invention. Like,
Yeah,
it's crazy how many incarnations of Pee Wee there were, because there was like the stage play and there was the set like 3 movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was I never did see the modern one, the Netflix one.
No, I haven't seen that.
Where they CG his face up.
Yeah, I used to watch Pee Wee's Playhouse when I was a kid, obviously, and I remember like what it's like. There's some like weird segments, like where I don't know, he'll like just like feed a dog and I'll have close-ups of the dog like eating the food, and then close-ups of his face going like, he's eating food.
Yeah, I mean, what a strange invention, this man-child, with the 2 different voices. Yeah, Pee Wee's Playhouse was how I knew him first and foremost, and I can't say like I watched it religiously, but
no.
I mean, you know, his crack cocaine commercial that makes it sound like he was promoting it. This is crack, rock cocaine.
This is crack, rock cocaine.
And you put it up your nose. But yeah, I mean, it was wholly original, that thing, and yeah, I guess he's responsible for launching Tim Burton's career, really.
Yeah.
For some reason, my dad doesn't like any movies. Like he likes the occasional movie. His favorite movie he's ever seen is Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Really? That's surprising.
Know why. I like it. What is it, Dad? Is it the breakfast machine? Is it the? And you start thinking about the movie, and you're like, you know what? It is pretty good. Pretty strong. Seems like everybody I talk to has a big butt.
Everyone I know has a big butt. Come on, Simone. Let's talk about your big butt.
Aside from him like passing out with like a bunch of snakes in his arms, trying to save all the animals from a burning building out of fucking nowhere. This is like that part of the movie just comes out of nowhere. But him watching his own movie at the end, giggling to himself as he's watching his cameo as a bellhop, and they voiced him over because his voice is unacceptable. It's layers of joke. Yeah. Paging Mr. Herman, Mr. Herman. And they had Josh Brolin's dad played the Pee Wee in the movie version.
Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
Yeah, Pee Wee's Big Adventure is sweet. I can understand why Tim Burton got a career after that.
No.
And Danny Elfman's first score.
No.
Let us not forget.
Jeez.
The Breakfast Machine theme alone is like I can recall that instantly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, between that and The Simpsons and Batman, it's like Jesus.
You know what? Pee Wee Herman, that's an American original. He occupied an important, memorable time in American pop culture for sure.
Yeah, and there's no character that's quite like him, and it's very unique and so memorable, and it's amazing that it was so popular with children.
Not to mention, like, you had wasn't Phil Hartman involved? Yes, and of course Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, he was the Cowboy Curtis. Yeah,
that's very strange. That's like, that.
Would you like to take the blue pill or the red pill?
I just heard. I don't know if you saw this clip. Tarantino told an amazing story about Lawrence Fishburne on the podcast.
No, I didn't hear.
This is good. I'll get to tell you about it. So I guess somebody was like, "How come Lawrence Fishburne didn't read for Jules in Pulp Fiction?" which I suppose is an offensive question right off the bat. There's a famous clip of Samuel L. Jackson being like, "I am not Lawrence Fishburne." Like some interviewer confused them.
The Super Bowl commercial, did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
Oh, you know what? I've been my mistake. You know what?
See, you're as crazy as the people on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
So Tarantino's like, "Oh, I offered him the part. I offered him Jules, and he turned it down." And he's like, "Would you like to know why he turned it down?" Because he was at a point in his career where his agents were telling him that you're a leading man now. And he's like, it wasn't a bad strategy when you're like back then when you're a leading man, you don't take supporting roles, like no matter how good the supporting role, because then you'll be seen as a supporting person. And we tried to, he's like, he took me lightly. We tried to convince him, like, you open the movie, you end the movie. I don't know if I necessarily consider Jules to be a supporting character in that movie. I consider him a lead. Him and
I mean, it's an ensemble cast, but yeah.
Yeah, like Bruce Willis is the lead of his segment, right? And so I don't know. Lead versus supporting. It seems like for that movie, you're splitting hairs.
Yeah.
But I mean, especially with the monologue at the end of the movie and stuff, like he's definitely the lead of the end of the movie. So he turned it down, and the idea was to get like some big leading man role like next in his career. And so they ended up like he was offered Die Hard 3. And yeah, you know where this is going. And I guess like they were like, well, at the time, like that character, the only other two people in the running were Wesley Snipes and Denzel Washington. They weren't going to get either of them. And so like Lawrence Fishburne felt that they needed him. And so he asked for $1 million, and he insisted on $1 million, and they didn't want to pay it. And Tarantino was like, and this was going to be a really big deal for his career, because he was going to, not only would all of America know him, but all of, internationally he would be known. This was the big movie he was waiting for. And by the way, just off topic, but I'm like, isn't that a supporting role in that fucking movie? He's not Bruce Willis in that movie.
It's true. It's yeah.
So they were like, all right, I guess the producer of the movie was like, here's what we're going to do. See, behind the scenes, we don't want to pay this $1 million. We've heard, and he was going to the Cannes Film Festival, and he had heard that this guy, Samuel L. Jackson, was really good in this Pulp Fiction movie that's going to be at the Cannes Film Festival. And he was going to watch Pulp Fiction, and if he liked it and the movie did well, they were going to offer it to him and dump Lawrence Fishburne. So because Lawrence Fishburne turned down Pulp Fiction, Samuel L. Jackson gets that, and then that leads to him stealing the role for Die Hard 3, which is pretty fascinating. But the whole thing made me reflect on, like, it made me miss the days of, like, we have an exciting script, and we're looking for an exciting star, and we want to get him to, and that's how we're going to fund the movie, because it's an exciting director, and we think this is an exciting story, and we're going to make a big movie.
No, now it's we're making a TV show on Disney Plus, and
it needs to be.
We don't really have a script, but we'll just hire some people to make it. They're not. We don't know who it is really. Yeah. They're just going to make it. College students are going to make it. Mm-hmm. We don't have a script. We'll probably shoot every scene 3 times. Yeah.
We've got more money than God. And so, well, if it's this star or that star we have to secure, we can do that. But the filmmakers themselves, they'll just show up with tripods and cameras and get through it. It's got to come out next week is the thing.
Yeah.
And so
anything that's wrong with it, we'll fix it in post. We'll cut and paste everything.
Or we'll live with it. It doesn't have to be good.
It doesn't have to be good. Just put it out.
But yeah, I just, like, remember you used to hear about production hell. Oh, my movie's tied up in production hell because we can't get it funded because we haven't found an exciting star to attach to it.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so like quaint now. There's this really cool movie's been in development, and if it's a hit, it makes $150 million total. It's not $1 million.
I know. Yeah, because what was it, like Raiders of the Lost Ark cost like $20 million or something, which is like $60 million in today's money, and that's nothing still. It's
I remember in the 2000s, a movie
movies.
that made $40 million off of a $20 million budget. That was like a regular thing. That was the kind of thing they were after a lot of the time. I remember like 5 movies would come out in a week, and like all of them would do mediocrely well. And there'd be one that wins the box office. And it was often not predictable which one it would be. It was like, who's going to win the box office this week? Versus just like, there's kind of one movie coming out this week and it's going to make $1 billion and the rest will make $0, you know?
Yeah. And then like, you know, on TV, it was mostly sitcoms, and sitcoms didn't cost that much. And then they would syndicate them and they would make money off the syndication.
That's
and now
why
they
I
can't even do that.
Got to get rid of streaming. Get rid of it. It's not doing you any good. It's a cancer to the film industry, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, R.I.P. Paul Reubens.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.